What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. And if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam, you'll get kidnapped by a doll named Pablo. Yeah, that's right. He's going to come into your room and say, "Come with me," and then he's going to kidnap you unless you press the like button. Anyways, guys, what's going on? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. And a couple of days ago, I was just chilling doing my thing when I had a showdown with a boomer, or should I say I witnessed a showdown with a boomer of absolutely epic proportions, okay? I don't know what these boomers be up to these days, but they get very, very angry at the slightest inconvenience, and this situation was just very awkward and ended in a funny way, so, you know, I'm really hoping that you guys find it entertaining, but without further ado, let's get right into it, because the boomers can't be waiting much longer, because, they don't have much time left, okay? They're getting old, let's be honest here, and I want to hear them get embarrassed, so, let's do it. So, I have friends. I know that's probably pretty surprising. I know most of you guys probably think that I just, like, lock myself in my room like a loser all the time, and, you know, I'm as surprised as you are that I have friends, too. But I do have some friends. And, a couple of days ago, I was sitting here, you know, making a video, doing my thing, and I get a text from one of my friends who lives in my neighborhood, and he says, "Yo, you and, your friend should come over tonight. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time, watch movies, all that good stuff. Feel free to bring anyone you want, you know. Me and my girlfriend are gonna be here. So just come on through whenever and we can hang out." And I'm like, all right, bet. So we decide to pull up to his house. And the way that my neighborhood works is like, there's kind of, you know, a community thing at the start, but as you get further and further into the neighborhood, the houses get nicer and nicer. And this friend of mine is substantially older than me, and he started a company that ended up doing pretty well. So he lives in this massive house, like at the top of my neighborhood, where all the incredibly successful people live, all right? Like, I ain't balling out yet, okay? I ain't got my house in the hills yet. It's coming eventually. I just need to actually do something with my life. But regardless, he lives up there, so we decide to pull up. And we pull up about 7 p.m., and it's this beautiful house. It's nice. It's got, like, a beautiful yard. It's really nice, okay? That's all you gotta know about it. And because he lives in this nice area where the houses have a little bit more land and they're not so apart, he's never met his neighbor. And, you know, we're kind of sitting there, and I ask him, like, "Oh, are your neighbors cool?" Because he's a young guy. Like, he's a little bit older than me, 23, and he lives in this incredibly nice house, this nice neighborhood. And he goes, "No, I've never really met my neighbors, but, like, I hope they're not a Karen," right? Because he's seen my videos, so we're just kind of laughing, just talking about crazy neighbors. But he says he's never met his. He's like, "Hey, they seem pretty cool. Most of them are just kind of old people that mind their own business." And right when he says that, someone who's there, like, we're just all kind of chilling, goes, "Oh, yeah, you got to be careful, though, because those boomers get triggered really, really easily." And we're like, "Ah, ha, ha." And I swear, you know that part in a book where they basically say what's going to happen at the part and just foreshadow everything else? They're like, "Hey, wouldn't it be so crappy if a kraken came out of nowhere and destroyed my boat while I was on my way to North America? That would be a big bummer." And then like 5 minutes later, the kraken just comes through and destroys everything. I'm pretty sure that's what we did, but in real life, because we weren't being loud, all right? Like, there was music playing and there was 10 of us. Like, I guess it could have gotten slightly loud, maybe, okay? Like, I'm not gonna lie here. Were we angels? Were we silent? Absolutely not. But there's no way that the noise that we were making actually disturbed anyone else unless you were trying to live in, like, a library. Like, if you were this guy's next door neighbor and you were sitting there with no TV on, no music playing, not talking at all, in an absolutely silent house without the air conditioner playing, maybe, just maybe, you could hear the beat of a song. Maybe on a good day, but like, it was not obnoxiously loud. So whatever, we're just kind of hanging out, and there's a knock on the door, except we don't hear it at first, you know, so the knocking gets more intense, and then finally doorbell starts ringing, and like, they are ringing this doorbell, okay? You know that scene in all the movies where, like, you know, they're on a spaceship and the captain says, "Oh, don't press the buttons," and then the person's like, "Oh, I touched all the buttons." That's basically what this person is doing to the doorbell. There's ding, 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 ding. So my friend whose house it is gets up and opens the door, and sure enough, there is this old lady and her husband there, and they look pissed. They look angry. And, you know, he kind of like looks back at us, and we stop the music, and a couple of us kind of walk over there to see what's going on. And we're getting closer, and the lady's like, I don't know who you think you are to be so disrespectful in this neighborhood. This is a quiet place. The fact that you would be so disrespectful shows that you don't care about anyone but yourself. And my friends just kind of, they're like, huh? Like, we didn't even think it was possible to be heard from anywhere else. What I said earlier about how, like, maybe you could maybe hear us is, I don't even know if that's true. I don't think you could hear us, but, like, maybe, I guess, in theory, in that scenario, you might be able to hear us. And so he's kind of looking all confused. He's like, wait, excuse me? And they're like, we're your neighbors, and this isn't even your house, da-da-da-da-da. We're the neighbors of this place. And we're obviously confused, because it's not every day where you're chilling in a house and an old lady is screaming at you. Surprisingly, I'm the most collected, because I swear I get yelled at like it's a sport, okay? Like, you know that the kid at the tennis game who has to run out and get the ball, you know? Like, he's just super used to chasing balls all day. That's what she said. That's me getting yelled at by old people, all right? Like, there's all these people around. You take a person who's never played tennis before, stick them on the side and say, oh, go get the ball. They're going to be like, why? Why is this a thing? Why don't they get their own ball? Like, you're hiring me to just chase down this stupid yellow, fluorescent yellow ball? Why would I do that? That's most people getting screamed at by old people. But me at this point, hey, it's basically my second language, bro. I'm going to start putting bilingual on my job application and be like, oh, yeah, I speak English and boomer. You know, I'm just used to getting yelled at. So I walk over to my friend and I'm kind of like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, well, we think it's incredibly disrespectful that you guys would get an Airbnb and then trash it and party like this. And I'm kind of like, oh, funny misunderstanding. You guys are going to think this is funny. This is his house. This isn't an Airbnb. And my friend's like, oh, yeah, we live here. And they're like, okay, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't live here. And my friend's like, yeah, I live here. And they're like, no, you don't. At which point, I don't really know what you're supposed to say. Like, what are you supposed to say when you say something that's just actually true and the person just doesn't believe you? Like, what are you supposed to say? This is literally the equivalent of somebody walking up to me in public and going, hey, are you Scrubs? And I go, yeah. And then they say, no, you're not. Like, okay. What am I supposed to say to that? Like, you don't live here. Yes, I do. No, you don't. You're right, woman. I don't live here. I'm very sorry. So, whatever. We're just both kind of like, okay. And my friend's like, no, like, I live here. I've lived here for months. And like, well, the person that used to live here didn't party like this. And he's like, cool. Good for you. What? Imagine sitting in a desk in class and you suck at math, so you don't pay a lot of attention, and your teacher walks up to you. I'll have you know, the kid who used to sit in that desk paid way more attention than you. Well, good for you, Mr. Lebowski. I'm not that same person. I'm glad your old neighbors didn't used to have fun. I'm glad that they were very lonely and they inevitably moved out because you're an old sea hag as a neighbor. But we're not the same people. I don't even live here. I don't know why I'm so defensive about this, but it's just a stupid thing to say. So my friend is kind of like, well, I'm sorry that, your old neighbors didn't used to party. If we're being too loud, I'm super sorry. We can turn down the music. They're like, oh no, it's too late for that. We came over to ask you to stop, but since you want to fib and pretend that you live here, give us your parents' phone number. And he's like, you want my parents' phone number? They're like, yeah, well, you might live here, but you don't own this house. Look at how young you are. Like, there's no way that you own this house, so give us your parents' phone number. I bet you they're out of town. They're gonna be so mad that you're throwing a party. And he's like, this is my house. My parents don't live here. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. We can go down to the security station at the bottom of the hill and find out the phone number of who lives here, right? And we can call him. And my friend smiles and he goes, go for it. Go ahead. Go ahead. They're like, wow, you really want us to have to call your parents and tell them that you gave us all this trouble and made us go down there and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Fine. Whatever, but, my wife's gonna stay here and make sure that you guys don't, try to run away while we're gone. Yeah, because you know us, we're gonna send you guys down to the security station and then run into the woods like a bunch of scurrying doves. So this man hops in his golf cart and starts driving down to, the second, so to get into my neighborhood, there's, not really, a guard, it's just, a gate. But, to get into the top part of the neighborhood, there's a guard and another gate. It's complicated, but he goes down to this guard station, and the entire time he's gone, this woman is telling us, oh, you've really done it now. I can't wait to see the looks on your faces when you're in so much trouble. And we're all like, okay, lady. And she starts talking about, back in my day, kids were nowhere near as disrespectful as you. And we're like, okay, listen, all right. I get it. I get it. Old people just grew up in a different time, but why are they all just making themselves look like idiots all the time, bro? When was the last time there was a story about a boomer where you went, man, that guy gets it? None, because they just don't exist anymore, bro. They're just looking silly. So we're sitting there, and sure enough, about 5 minutes later, my friend phone rings while this lady's so smug, and he answers it, and he goes, hello? Why, yes, this is me. Glad to meet you. Yeah, I'm the owner of the house. Yep, you can see it. It's right there. Da-da-da-da. All good. And he hangs up, and she goes, oh, so you stole your mother's phone so you could pass off like you were the owner of the house? And he goes, no, you'll see. And so sure enough, the guy comes back up with security with this smug look on his face and goes, yep, these are the boys that are throwing the party without authorization. And the guard walks up and says, hey, did you just get my call? He goes, yeah, you know, it's my house. Da-da-da-da. He goes, yeah, I know, you come in all the time. And at this point, when the security guard isn't automatically kicking everybody out, the boomers start to have this look on their face like, oh, we might not have won here, you know? So the old man is kind of like, well, it's not his house. And he goes, yeah, it is. Like, this guy's lived here for months now. And he goes, oh, no, well, the old neighbors never used to party. And the security guard is kind of like, all right, well, they're not your old neighbors, so I really don't know what to tell you. Are you guys being too loud? He goes, no. He goes, is anyone, like, you know, intoxicated? He goes, no. And he goes, oh. Well, then, I mean, yeah, there's really not much I can do. And the boomers look at the security guard when he says there's nothing they can doing, and they're like, he's destroying my peace and quiet. I paid in this neighborhood. I've lived here for so long. The fact that you would let them continue this, the boomers speak for basically, wah, 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 I'm not getting my way, wah, 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 wah. And the security guard obviously is not enjoying getting yelled at by boomers, so he kind of looks at us, he goes, can you guys turn the music down? And we say, yeah, sure, no problem, we'll turn it down. And he gets back in his golf cart and he drives back down the hill. So the boomers are still sitting there, and they're like, I would never, if my elders, da-da-da-da-da, and my friend, without missing a beat, looks at him and goes, yeah, but the difference is you guys are like elders. Like, you guys got early onset dementia because obviously you forgot how to respectfully ask somebody to turn down the music. And they're like, what did you just say to me? And my friend goes, I live in this house. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll turn down the music to make sure that you guys can have a good time and we're not bothering you. But don't forget that you guys are eventually going to get so old and decrepit that you're going to start forgetting things. And that's when you're going to need the help of a neighbor. So maybe start acting a little bit more neighborly, because causing problems like this for no reason, calling me a liar when you don't know me, repeatedly trying to get me in trouble when you could have just asked us to turn down the music isn't very neighborly, and I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to want to live next to you if you keep that attitude up. Oh, I never, how dare, you don't know anything about me, son. And he goes, and you don't know anything about me. I own this house, and the fact that you would even fathom that, you know, I'm stealing it or I'm like robbing from my parents is ridiculous. And what my friend does for work is he started this company, and basically he builds stuff. Like, I don't really know technically what he does. All I know is that he pays construction companies a lot of money. So this old man is kind of like, oh, what do you even do anyways? So my friend explains, you know, that he owns this company, and he says the company's name, and the old man's face just goes like silent, right? And he's like, oh, and he goes, oh, what do you do? He goes, oh, I'm a lawyer. And he says the construction companies that he hires all the time's name, like to do the stuff for him, you know? Like, he creates the project and then hires like concrete companies. You guys get the idea. And so the man realizes that he is messing with the owner of the companies that pay him to do all the work. And it's probably not a very good idea to make that guy angry at all, in the slightest. And the guy looks at him and says, hey, I won't tell anyone, but remember, you might want to act a little bit more neighborly next time, okay? And the guy's like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I'm so sorry for causing trouble. And he like pushes his wife. He goes, okay, honey, we're leaving. Bye. And yeah, that was that. Moral of the story is boomers stay away. But on that note, guys, you guys should all go get some merch if you haven't already. It helps the channel. Today's notification shout out goes to Eva Soul. Big thank you for having on notifications. If you turn on notifications and just send me them on Instagram, I shout somebody out every day. But on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.